Yeah. Hey y'all, it's just being the Joneses.
Hey, what's going on?
So this is our episode 1.
First episode, right? Yeah.
And so today we gonna talk somewhat about. Well, we are talking about dating.
Dating, that wild jungle out there. I heard it's crazy out there now. So.
Yeah. So
it was when we were dating.
I know. I saw something that said dating should be easy, right? And then I saw something else that said dating is not always easy. It can be difficult, but that doesn't mean that that's not the person that is for you or somebody that you should marry, right?
True.
So a lot of people won't agree with that because it's like, okay, if we having struggles now while we're dating, then what is those struggles going to look like while we're married?
What's supposed to be the easy part about dating? Because for me, when I hear dating is supposed to be easy, it wasn't easy for me in terms of finding someone who I want to marry. Because I dated several women, not a whole lot, but several, and most of them weren't the one. They weren't the one who I say, okay, this is who I want to marry. Or if I did see someone like that I could see myself with for the long term, they were thinking, no, maybe he's not the one. Even though I'm a good guy, everybody has their preference.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because I remember telling someone before that it was a guy and he was saying that, women want somebody who's gonna dog them out. They don't really want no good man because when they see a good man, they don't want to be with a good man, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But what I told him was, you just because that particular woman does not see you as a good fit for her, does not mean that you're not a good man.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that she wants someone to dog her out. She just don't see you as a good fit for her.
Right. That goes back to what I said, because I mean, I know I'm a good guy, I'm a nice guy and everything. But yeah, someone didn't see that in me, or they didn't see themselves in the long term with me. And so it may hurt, sometimes it hurts. Sometimes people just say, oh, well, I didn't talk down to her, nothing like that. I just understood that even though it hurt, I understood that I just wasn't the one for her, even though I could see her being the one for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, but it is a stigma that, there's some women out there who want guys to dog them out, but that's not always the case just because a nice guy get turned down.
Exactly. Yes. And so, when you were dating though, what did you see? Because you said you didn't see a lot of options out there that was someone you would want to settle down and marry. So what was those qualities that made you say, oh, that's somebody that I'll be with long term and possibly marry?
Yeah, just overall nice, similar to me, laid back.
Well, I ain't really that laid back, so I don't even know what.
Well, I mean, just nice, overall nice person, a good citizen. Do it, serious, because I don't know about stealing from me.
Yeah, I might be laid back in a sense, but sorry, I'm not really what I would call it. I'm what you would call. I'm not what you would call calm.
You're a little high strung at times.
Yeah, high strung, but
in a fun way.
Yeah,
not in a when this nigga fall asleep, I'm gonna steal from him. So
well, that would what you would you would call a thief, but okay.
Now, if you have many other qualities that, of course, I found attractive.
Yeah. But also when we were dating with us, I know we didn't always going back to the easy dating, right?
Yes.
I'm
still trying to figure out what that means when they say date should be easy.
Well, to me, you're going to have, I think that you should have some challenges during dating because then you see how that person is going to respond to certain situations. Yeah. Or you see how someone, like I've had people tell me that, oh, well, I really didn't want to say this and that and the other because we're dating and, and I'm like, well, you holding back on some of the things that you feel and some of the things that you think.
So that person didn't want them to get upset. They want to hold back some things that they thought would make them upset, so that then it would increase their chances of getting the ring.
And sometimes it could be conflicts and different things like that. Doesn't mean that you're not the one. Like I know our situation was that we were long distance.
Yes.
So that was a struggle. That was really that was the biggest challenge that we had.
The distance.
The distance.
Yep. Literally a time zone away.
Yeah. So, but we made that work at the best that we could. Like long distance was like our challenge.
Yes.
So
you want to mention some things that we did?
That's
just
like
maybe about 2 or 3. I'm saying just keep it short. Maybe 2 or 3 things that we did. Like one being, we watched the same movies and TV shows together.
At that time, Netflix was, you get that
DVD service.
You mail that DVD back. In about 2 more days, you got your next DVD, right?
That's how far back we go. And the series we were watching was Soul Food, the series.
We watched that.
And we DVD all day. Send it back. Okay, you finish it, or you ready to send it back? Send it back. Let me know when you get it so we can start it.
We watched that. We watched Girlfriends together. Like we had a lot of similarities in the thing that we didn't mind watching or that we would watch together, whatever, but that we like to watch. But we did that. We also, at that day and time, we were playing, everybody used to be playing the little word game on the phone.
Yeah.
So remember what? Yeah. It wasn't Scrabble, right? Was it called something else? Or was it Scrabble?
Was it Words
with Friends? Okay, so yes. And we did that together on our phones.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And another old school thing was Yahoo Messenger.
Yahoo Messenger. That was the number one way of communication other than talking on the phone. Yahoo Messenger.
Yeah, so we Yahoo Messenger, and then we met up in halfway because he was like 12 hours away. So we met up halfway often. Yeah. And then I would go there. He would come to Jacksonville. Like during the summertime, my kids were out of school, and when they took their breaks, spring break and stuff, we just drove up there and then stayed for their break or whatever for a week or 2 at a time. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, we was meeting up.
Yeah.
And so so we just had, and then it's. Like I said, it was definitely a challenge.
It was definitely a challenge.
It was definitely a challenge. Like I feel like we almost didn't make it at one point because of the long distance, but luckily we did. Right. But we put in that work, and that's the thing. You have to be. When someone said that sometimes it takes work to make something work, to make dating or something like that work, it does. Like the work doesn't have to necessarily be unhealthy work. Like just. You putting in work because something bad is happening. That's not necessarily always has to be the case. But you're putting in work so that something does work out. Because anything that you do and you commit to, or you dedicate yourself to, it's gonna take some type of work that you putting in. If you committed to it, and I think we both showed each other how committed we were to what we had.
That's right. So we were both putting in that work. Mm-hmm. If somebody ain't putting in that work, then that's saying something.
Yeah. So. I mean,
and that's whether you're long distance or not.
Yeah,
because you still got to put in work. It's just, depending on the scenario, like ours was long distance, so we had to put in more work versus someone who's local, right there in the same, county or whatever.
Yes, we had to put in more work. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But it always works. So I'm still trying to figure out what it means when people say dating should be easy. I mean, I get it. That's someone's opinion. I get that, but I don't think I truly fully understand that.
Well, maybe sometimes there are red flags when dating. And so those red flags are telling you that run, like get the heck away from this situation, right?
Yeah.
So, that could be, it just depends on what that is, what that looks like. Because there can be red flags that's letting me know, like if I'm dating someone, and I can't even sit down and tell you how I feel about something, then
without them exploding.
Yeah, and sometimes people go to therapy, couples therapy, when they're dating. So, if they know that they want to take this further and they want to get married, then they're going to they may go to a therapist and see them about communication. So they want to work on their communication. But one of the things that I have seen a lot is that people come into therapy and they're saying that, okay, we are talking about marriage or we're engaged. And I'm like, okay, so what are some of the things that y'all have already discussed that's going to change when you get married? So marriage is another arena, right?
Oh, yeah.
So have y'all discussed, then I'm asking, have you guys discussed this? Have you guys discussed what this look like? This. It's so many people who are preparing to be married and have not discussed some of the major things, even things like finances. Like, how are we going to do our finances?
Right.
Like,
because he had his way of doing things for his situation, and she had her way. How are they going to bring that together? Then what are they going to do then? You know what I'm saying? Do they still have the same goals in life, or do they still want separate accounts, or what accounts do they want, or how do they want to handle finances? Yeah.
And different stuff for different people.
That's
so
right.
It's like, what did this person learn about? What did you learn about finances when you were growing up? What did this person learn about finances when you were growing up? How do you, because sometimes your what you learn growing up about finances is something that you take with you, and then that is what you think it's supposed to look like. Not saying that it's bad, but this is what it should look like because this is what I know because this is what I saw. Yeah. When this other person said, well, this is what I saw. This is what it should look like.
Right.
And then instead, it's conflict instead of you coming in and making it into your own. Like, how do we create this thing that works for us? Forget what my mama said. Forget what my daddy said. But unless it works. Unless what mama said and daddy said work for both of y'all, cool. But if it doesn't, how do we create this thing for ourselves?
Right.
And so I see conversations all the time that talk about, and when I tell you, I guess I got so sick of seeing this question come up in some groups I'm on Facebook that says, should a married man and a married woman have separate accounts? If they want to, right?
If it works. Yeah.
If it works.
If it works for them.
If it works.
It may not work for everybody. It won't work for everybody. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Because some people just got to be doing things that they shouldn't be doing. I mean, let's keep it real.
Yeah.
So some people ought to hold themselves accountable and say, well, maybe we need to say the same account.
And sometimes
I need to be slowed down or whatever the case,
Yeah. And sometimes someone isn't good with money.
That's right.
So if this person isn't good with money, it doesn't mean that you're not compatible together in a relationship. It just means that, okay, since I'm the person that can manage money better, I have the financial strength, right? So since I have the financial strength, let's do it this way. And you have to be okay with admitting that you're right, you are stronger than me in that area. Yeah, that might be the better way to do that. And that's in a lot of different things, not just finances, but all these other different things too. Really so is. The dating, it can be, dating shouldn't be so easy that people don't say how they feel and say what they think. And then when you get married, boom, everything just blow up because we never talk about none of this stuff. We kept it so tippy-toe and walking on eggshells.
Kept it easy instead of welcoming the challenge. They kept it easy. But then later on when they get married, those challenges blow up because you don't know how to deal with it. You never talked about it. It comes along, then again, you don't know how to deal with it. And it just makes things fall apart.
Yeah. But it's some things you're not gonna know dating if you're not living with a we didn't live together until we were married for a year because you were in Korea for the first year of our marriage. So it was just me and the kids. Yeah. And so we were still doing this long distance thing, like the first year of our marriage.
It was hard to get away from it.
But we knew it was temporary. So
we knew it was temporary. It had a time limit. We knew how long it was going to be once I went to Korea. And then, of course, came back and all that long distance stuff was gone out the door. So
so then that was our first time living together after a year in our marriage. So then I think that was the most challenging part of our being married because now we got to adjust not only living together in the same home, but also blending this family together.
Yes.
So that's another
which was another challenge.
Awesome. So dating, you know, to us, I would say the biggest challenge was the long distance, but looking out for red flags is important.
Yes.
Even though, you know, dating can have its challenges. It's okay to have challenges doing dating and that still be the person for you to marry. But there's also red flags to look out for. Mm-hmm. And there's also deal breakers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I mean, sometimes people have difficult time dating, and marriage is not going to be the fixer for your dating issues.
Right.
Unless you long distance and then you can't stay together until after you got married or something like that, which wasn't us in that per se. But sometimes people do. They're like, okay, we long distance. I'm not moving there with you, or you're not moving here with me until we get married. Yep. And then boom. Okay. But if it's something else, like other things, other challenges you may be having in your dating, marriage is not going to be the cure for that. So it's not okay to get married and think that, okay, well, once we get married, this person gonna change it, this is gonna change it, that's gonna change. That is definitely not.
If anything, it's harder because you're living together and whatnot.
You dealing, this is every day now. In dating, a lot of times people live separate.
Yeah.
And they may just, boom, we got a conflict, boom, you go where you go, I go where I go, and then they never come back and talk about these things.
Yeah.
But then when you get married, where you going?
You can go somewhere, but you gotta come back.
You gotta come back. Right. So, I mean, I think that with the whole situation of dating shouldn't be hard. It depends on what hard look like.
And what hard look like.
Yeah. So, yeah, it can be challenges that you can actually work through and still be the person for each other. But don't be afraid to work through those challenges while you're dating. Mm-hmm. Because that is it suppressing and holding stuff and then not talking about the things that you need to be talking about while you're dating and thinking that marriage is going to change things. Mm-hmm. So, and you know, with me being who I am, right, it ain't no stones unturned. I'm talking about everything.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and more guys ought to be that way. You know, women are typically the ones who will open those doors or unturn those stones, asking those sometimes difficult questions. And men ought to be the same way because it would probably be a lot easier for everybody in the long run if we're also asking those questions and open to those questions being asked at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you know, because a lot of guys tend to, and I know I'm one of them, tend to just shy away from certain things or maybe even conversations in general, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of conversation in general. We may not want to talk about those things, but it's good to talk about them, honestly, because if you don't talk about it, then how are you gonna fix it? How are you gonna learn to agree on it, agree to disagree, come up with a similar goal together, or whatever, you know, whatever the situation may be. But guys, yeah, just definitely don't be afraid to talk about things with your fiance, your girlfriend, whoever she may be, your wife. You know, be open to talk and discuss things often.
Things can get uncomfortable. Like you can have uncomfortable emotions and things like that, talking about stuff, but learning how to sit through those, how you're feeling is important because tough things gonna come up. I mean, it's just
they're gonna come up.
So it's and one of the things that I definitely don't agree with is the silent treatment.
Right.
Like that's definitely a form of, it can be a form of emotional and mental abuse. And it's not good. So I think healthy couples know how to say, for the most part, and the majority of the time know how to say, we might need to take a break and come back and talk about this later, instead of just, you know, turning completely away from each other and leaving the other person feeling like, or the other person feels they're feeling like unheard or whatever, or that what they're saying doesn't matter, or you walking around for days not talking. Like literally in my first marriage, my ex-husband used to do that. For days would not talk to me about something he did. Right? So when I was dating him, that was something that I was looking to make sure that he don't do, because you know, I was not gonna be able to tolerate that. Like, I was real strict about who, like, I don't care who I might have dated during the time that I was single, whoever I was going to marry, I was gonna be super strict about certain things. So you really was the only you and one other person was really the only person that I could have seen myself married out of all the people that some of the people that I talked to when I was out there dating after my first marriage, because I was super strict. I don't care how much I cared about you. I don't care how much feelings I had for you. If you did not check these certain boxes, it was not going no further than what it was.
I understand. Yeah.
So basically there was only 2 people that I could have even seen myself with long term, you know. And so we talked about that. And so and so there's certain things, you know, while we were dating that I knew that I was not going to have it didn't appear that I was going to have these issues with you. I haven't. So in dating, I knew that was one of the things that if that was happening while we were dating, I already knew that was going to be a deal breaker for me. Right. So, yeah. And if it happened and I expressed that this is what I do not like this, and then a person continued to do it, then that would have been a deal breaker for me, because now I told you already that I don't like that. And I think with us, we're pretty good at saying, I don't like this. And then we don't do what we don't want to hurt each other. So if I express to you that I don't like something, or you express to me that you don't like something, we're going to try to put in our 100% to not do what you know is going to hurt this person. So yeah, no. And that's one of the things that during dating, you know, is important to look for. Like, how is this person, you know, how much do they care about how I feel?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if they're willing to listen to how you feel.
That's right. Because some guys aren't. Some guys aren't going to listen. They're just going to.
But some women won't listen.
Some women won't listen. You know, they'll just do their own thing on the side if they whatever. You know? So, I mean, you know, people just going to do things. You know, you never know. Some people may agree with you, you know, to your face, but
behind your back.
Behind your back, you know what I'm saying?
Story. Yeah. So it's just certain things like doing, you know, I think that you already knew that I wouldn't even, I just didn't like, you know, because I'm very vocal.
Right.
And it ain't going to be nothing that I'm not going to like that you're not going to know I don't like. And you know that.
Of course.
And you knew that since we was dating.
Of course.
So I'm out. Whatever you got when we were dating, that's what you get now.
And I knew that. I knew that going into it, so which was important. You know, if I didn't like her while I was dating her, I wouldn't have married her. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's very important. And that's another good thing. You know, you want to just another example. You want to just put it all on the table so everybody knows what they're getting into. And
yep, for real. But I mean, dating could be easy with challenges.
Could be easy. I guess you could say it. Dating should be easy with challenges. Yeah,
like you can have 100 disagreements,
mm-hmm.
and some things you agree to disagree on. Some things you have to have change behavior. But it's all about how you do this. You could disagree on a bunch of stuff, depending on what these things are. Because if these are things that's like, you know, we need to be able to be on the same page for our marriage to work, then that's one thing. And I think with dating, it's important to keep that in mind. Like, we're not trying not to disagree. We're not trying to avoid every conflict that could be a potentially turn into an argument, but we're trying to see how well we work together to resolve these things.
Trying to enhance each other.
Yeah, right. We know that we hear how difficult it is out there. Like, I see things, I read things, and I cannot say that I understand, but I can't empathize with the dating. I read something that said the dating pool is full of people. Right?
Full of people.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I just think it's a lot from what I'm seeing and hearing. It seems like it's a lot different from when I was out there dating, when we was dating or whatever. Like, so I mean,
Full of pee. Where you read that at? Social media.
Yes.
Full of pee.
But so I'm just thankful that I'm glad that I ain't in the, if that's what it is, I'm glad I ain't in the swimming in the piss pool.
Yeah, me too.
You know, but anyway, I still think that's there. I'm a hopeless romantic, so I still think there's somebody out there for everybody. There's still really good women out there. There's still really good men out there. It's just a matter of people finding each other.
Find each other and taking the time to find each other the right way and not through deceit. And
realizing that it's okay to have some conflicts during dating and not taking off and running at the first sign of conflict. Depending on what that is, again, like we said. So it's going to depend on what that conflict is. It's going to depend on dating being easy is with challenges is what people need to keep in mind.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to be uncomfortable sometimes, you know. And when I say uncomfortable, I don't mean cheating on each other, making people uncomfortable like that. But I mean, just having those talks, those conversations, things what we already talked about in this video. So, and that's very important. That's very important to me.
Yeah. So, you know, like when you talk about dating being hard or dating being easy, relationships, period. I look at relationships can be easy with challenges because you're not going to, nothing is perfect. So when I say, people have heard me say before that whoever, you know, have listened to me, have even read my social media posts, married to him is easy for me. Now, does that mean that we don't have any conflict or any challenges, any disagreements? No, that's not what I mean by that. But it's easy. It's not a struggle. Like I don't have those struggles where I don't want to come home or I don't want to, you know, be in the same room with him. I can't stand to look at him. Or,
I couldn't live that way.
Yeah, none of that stuff.
Like some guys go to the bar before they go home or whatever. I couldn't live that way. You know, some guys don't want to go home.
Yes.
Some guys I see guys who I'm convinced at work who they put in extra hours because they don't want to go home to their wife. Stuff like that.
Yeah. And so it's not stressful. We have challenges, but it's not like we don't live a stressed life.
Right.
So
it is easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
And so I pray that everybody find, if whoever is looking, because I do understand that there's people out there that's single that's saying that I'm happy being single. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be in a relationship with anybody. And I know some people don't want to be in a relationship because they don't want to go through conflict and challenges and different things that they have already been with. And I get that and I understand that. But I also encourage people not to give up on love as well, because like I said, I am one of those, I'm all for love type of person. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I went through a whole lot of hell and high water. I could write a whole book on what I went through in my first relationship, my first marriage. I mean, but my resiliency led me to still be open enough to put myself out there for love again, you know, and I'm glad I did. But I just knew I just was more solid on what I was going to tolerate and what I wasn't, like I said earlier with dating. So, I mean, let us know in the comments about dating. I mean, do you think dating is easy? Do you think dating is easy? Should be easy? Do you think dating should be have its challenges? Does those challenges mean that maybe you're not compatible, or maybe it depends on what those challenges look like? And is it piss in the dating pool? Let me know, y'all. Just being the Jones.
And how pissy is it? Is it clear piss or yellow piss? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time. Okay. Thank you.
Just being the Joneses. We out.